Welcome everybody to Entrepreneurship Journey. Today we have this enlightened young woman with us, and she's about to share her journey and enlighten us as well. Abigail, if you don't mind, introduce yourself.
Like Hayden said, I'm Abbigail from Crystal City Healing. I'm a certified crystal healer and soon to be Yoni steam practitioner and holistic healer.
I guess what everybody would like to hear is a little bit about how you grew up.
So I was born and raised in Montego Bay, Jamaica,
Got
Jamaica,
it.
Jamaica. And I moved here. I moved to New York about 10 years ago. Um, but I would say I grew up very free.
Yes,
I
Jamaica
had
is
a
like
lot of
that.
freedom. I was very, very happy. I was always at the river or at the beach or walking in the bush, getting cuts or whatever. I was just always roaming because wherever I lived, there was a lot of bush.
Right.
So I was always grounded with the universe
Okay.
and nature, love nature. And I always loved shiny, pretty things. So, yes, I've been living in the US for about 10 years now. And last year I had a major tragic car accident and it injured my spine and my shoulder. When that happened, that's how my journey started. My journey started on the search for self healing.
Right.
When my accident happened, I was also going through some emotional stuff, some
Okay.
personal issues. Um, so along with like the emotional stuff and personal stuff that I was going through, I was like in therapy every week. Because there was a point where I was suicidal.
Ah. So,
And I'm okay. I'm okay talking about it,
okay.
because I'm not. I don't. It's hard to keep secrets. I'm a Libra. Okay, I'm a Libra. It's hard to keep my mouth shut and not be honest. So last year, I think, or was it? Yeah. So 2018, summer of 2018, I was going through an emotional breakdown and I was suicidal. I was having all these thoughts of I'm not worthy, no one loves me, it's no point of being here, and I just didn't want to be here. But I didn't want to have those thoughts, so I had to fight myself out of that, and
Right.
that's when I brought myself to the therapy office, and I was like, I need help because I'm having all these thoughts, but this is not something that I want to do. I want to live, but I know that I need some kind of support. I was just lonely, and I knew
Right.
that that's why I was feeling the way that I felt. So past that, I started getting better, and then the start of my school, the start of my senior year in college is when I had the accident, and as a result of my accident, I had to take a medical withdrawal from school and just start physical therapy immediately. I reconnected with my mom that I haven't spoken to or seen in 6 years.
And is your mom living in Jamaica or she lives here in the US?
My mom lives here in the US. She
Okay.
lives on the West Coast.
Okay.
So when I reconnected with her, the reconnection happened right after the suicidal
Right.
issues, like right when I was like getting my head together and getting better, and like the reconnection happened. I was just so happened to speak to her on the phone while I was talking to my brother.
And was that like a point of strength for you that brought back like, the whole hobby? Was like, that connection with your mom.
Something to live for.
Right.
Something to live for.
It's
Because it was because of the connection, the no connection with her, that made me wanna
right.
like not be here.
Mm. It's so powerful how moms operate. Like you always hear like stories of people who, grew up and then in their story of growing up, it's always the mom. It's
It,
always
it
the
starts
mom
with
that's the inspiration,
mama.
right?
Yeah.
Like the father, you know,
It
guys.
is whatever.
Guys, if you're having kids out there, be a good father, right? Don't abandon the child. Because like I grew up without a father too.
Mhm.
Like he left, and it was I grew up with my grandparents in Jamaica, so we have that in common.
Yeah, I grew up with my grandparents too, so you know,
Right?
I'm
So
like,
like
really,
I think it's
I'm
like the
old.
culture thing. But like, you know, I grew up with my grandparents, and you know, like it was the same kind of thing where, you know, in Jamaica you get to connect with the universe, you know, and that's why I feel like, you know, what you do here today,
Yes,
and the
it all
power you,
connects.
right, the power you draw from the energy around us and from the universe and vibration and all of that stuff. I feel like it's so interesting, and you know, that's why I definitely wanted to have you on this show.
Mhm.
So, you know, I am happy that
Thank
you
you.
got through all of the challenges that you have, and we have you here with us today. Um, let's start sharing some enlightenment with the people. So, if you were to choose your top two stones, which one would it be? Stones or crystal? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
So, this is always hard for me because I love them all.
Right.
You know what I mean? But my number one would definitely be rose quartz.
Rose quartz.
This
Yeah.
was rose quartz was the first crystal. Rose quartz was the first crystal that I started working with when I started my healing journey.
Right.
Because rose quartz is good for healing a broken heart. I was going through some of those stuff. Rose quartz is good for calming you when you're anxious. I was dealing with a lot of bad anxiety due to trauma.
Right.
And yeah, rose quartz is
So
good
that's
for
definitely
helping you to
number
love
one.
yourself. And like one of my issues that I struggled with in the past was loving myself. Like loving myself. So rose quartz definitely helps with that.
Okay. And your number two.
My number two would be black obsidian. Black obsidian because this is for protection. This is for keeping off negative energy away from you. I got this stone specifically because I was having a lot of bad nightmares, and I felt like I was going under a spiritual attack.
Right.
So I went to the store, went to a crystal shop, and I explained what I was going through to them, and they recommended this stone and said to put it under my bed, or I put it under my pillow, or by my nightstand before I go to bed, because when we're asleep is when we're most vulnerable.
Right. It's true.
So yeah, remember that when you're asleep, you're most vulnerable to all kinds of energies. So protecting yourself and protecting your space, your home, your work area is very important. So this is my number two.
And like, I feel, you know, to add on to that, I feel like in the state of meditation, like when you meditate, that is when you're like in a closely related state to sleep, and that's when you draw in as much energy from the universe. I feel like that adds to the point of being vulnerable while you sleep. It's like that movie Insidious. Like he drifted off in his dream, and then evil spirit would come and take over his body, all kind of stuff.
I never seen that.
It's a cool show. You know? There's this woman in it that's she walks around and smack people. So she literally like started smacking this kid, and like, you know, she have this phrase that she said, "Don't you dare," and just smack the hell out of the characters. It's funny. I supposed to be scared, but I found it funny. But for those who are watching today, you know, in the title it says Entrepreneurship Journey. For me, I define entrepreneurship as hustling, because that's really literally what it is, just a fancy word, entrepreneurship. So like, you know, for you, how did you start hustling? Like how or when did you start hustling?
I started hustling because I'm gonna tell you when. I started hustling this year January, February, around that time. Um, I didn't have no money.
Right.
And I was out of work. I've been out of work since my accident. So I've been out of work for months now. I wasn't having any income. No one that was like really giving to me. And because I was good at making stuff, making jewelry, I started making bracelets. That's the first thing I started making. And then I started making like little earrings. I started putting them together. So yeah, I started this. First, it was a hobby, and then it turned to I could actually sell these bracelets and jewelry and necklace and pieces of crystal while promoting health, promoting self-love and awareness. So I kind of just tied that all together. Everything that I was learning on my spiritual journey kind of just tied up to be. That's the start of my entrepreneurship journey.
Okay. So like, while hustling or while getting into the mindset of hustling, like one of the important things that a lot of people I don't feel like think about is that you don't have to come up with something new. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and say, oh, I want to start a business, but I don't know what. Like, in order to start a business, like all you have to do is take either your hobby, your passion, or something, a talent or a skill that you have, and then turn that into the hustle game. Go make some money with that. And I feel like not a lot of people think that, okay, what they do or what they enjoy doing, a lot of people would enjoy as well,
I think a lot of people think that entrepreneurship is just making money, is just selling things or just flipping money. And it's not just that. I feel like you have more fun when you're doing something
that you love. Right, exactly. So, like, that is what this show is all about. It's really educating people that there's more than one way to do this entrepreneurship thing. It's not just always something you can go to school and study, because like schools get outdated, like what they teach there is not something that you can apply to real world sometimes. So, but
as an entrepreneur, yes, like as far as I feel like you could go so far.
Right.
Like when I started selling my bracelets and my jewelry, it wasn't just on social media. It was from mouth to mouth. It was from outside.
And like a lot of people underestimate that. Like mouth to mouth is one of the most powerful marketing, because you're getting a review from somebody So it's not like online you can read a fake review. Oh, this is the best product yet on the market, and then you buy it and it's garbage. That mouth to mouth is somebody who bought it, interact with it, experienced the power of it, and now they're recommending it to you. So like that should not be underestimated when it comes to marketing yourself. Mouth to mouth is important. So it's funny that you'd say that. But just to give us an idea, what is your biggest inspiration? Like what gets you up every day and keep you going?
God. I just feel like I've been through so much and I came so far and I have so much further to reach.
Right.
So that alone just get me up. I feel like I've been through and in situations that was meant to break me, that was meant to possibly kill me, but somehow God was protecting me and I was safe. I had my spirit guides and everybody, my ancestors watching over me. So I feel like I'm not alone.
Right.
So because I'm not alone, then getting up in the morning, I look forward to getting up in the morning now, because it's like, oh, I could do so much different things.
Right. And like a lot of people may think that, oh, when it comes down to energy and crystals and all of these things, it's separate from God. But like, when you really study and look into it and find out how it works and why it works, why these crystals have so much healing properties, you see that it does have the connection to God. You know, like He created the universe, so the crystals are drawing in the energy from the universe. So it just makes sense, you know? It's good that
And
you
it's
said.
like, these are tools that, you know, was gifted to us on earth. So we are here to use the tools that we have to heal ourselves and to get by. So yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, crystals, evil, witchcraft, blah 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 blah." In the beginning, it used to offend me because in the beginning I was just like, "Oh, love and light," and what do you mean my crystals? What, like, now you hurt me?
Right,
But
right.
it used to put me down a little bit. Like, now I don't know if I really want to share, well, how I feel. But I got over it, and I love what I do. I love working with my crystals on a daily basis, and I love helping other people because people come to me on a regular for help, asking for recommendations, which crystals they should use, or how to take care of their crystals. And I love to do that. I love to be of help to others. So.
Right. Immediately I was like, all right, you know what? Let me reach out, find out which one of these crystals is going to be best for my journey. And there it was.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, when I came up with the show, I was like, all right, you know what? She definitely have to be on it because, like, it's like blessing the journey. So here we are. But for a lot of people listening, they might be on a certain journey too and want to know, like, which crystal is good for what. So, like, a lot of things that people go for, everybody's trying to be successful, right? So that's one thing. Everybody wants to be loved, so they want to attract loved, and everybody wants to be protected, so they want to ward off the evil energy. So I remember you saying the rose quartz is for love, and I wrote this down. This is the black obsidian, which wards off energy, and the next one is success. So which stone would be the best for success?
Jade.
Okay.
You have jade here. I don't have my green aventurine, but green aventurine is also good for prosperity and money, success, wealth, as well as this one, jade.
Okay. Yes.
There's a lot of crystals, and I don't have all of them here present, but a lot of crystals you could put together to make the energy
More powerful.
to amplify the energy,
Okay.
yes, to make it more powerful. You could also pair the crystals with some clear quartz. If you pair the crystals with clear quartz, you're also amplifying the energy.
This makes sense. You know, a couple years ago, I came up with this theory, right? So, in my mind, because like I'm like a scientist somewhere in this life.
Yeah, me
so,
too.
Right? So like in school, I studied physics, and like, you know, I just so happened to come into entrepreneurship. But like energy, that's how we interact with the universe. That is what's out there. That is what these crystals are working with. It's just energy. That's what it's all out there. So the theory that I had was that, okay, energy is what's around us, but then there's this other theory that thoughts are also energy, right?
Yes.
So if your thoughts are energy, and energy is what makes everything around us appear the way they are, wouldn't it make sense that your thought can cultivate things around you?
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction. So like I came up with that, just, you know, just being in my head and thinking, and then I found a name for it, law of attraction, where you literally use your positive thoughts to cultivate what you want out of life. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people underestimate energy,
A lot of
thoughts.
and underestimate themselves
Right.
in the process.
So it's important that, you know, you guys keep positive, of course, but also know that your positive thoughts can help shape your environment, like it will attract things to you. So in entrepreneurship, that is one of the most important thing to keep, because you have to get up every day not knowing where your next meal is gonna come from, where you're going to pay that bill, being just in entrepreneurship. If you have another side job, then okay. But just being an entrepreneur, you have to grind to pay that rent or that bill or that next meal. So you have to stay positive. Positivity is the key. So just a wise thought out there. But something that I'm trying to promote, like what I'm all about, is freedom and happiness.
Yes.
Like, I don't think everybody on this world is free. Definitely, and I definitely don't think everybody's happy.
Because a lot of people isn't doing the things that's making them happy.
Right. So my question to you is, what is the best way you'd say somebody can become free? Physically, spiritually, mentally.
I recommend self-reflection, journaling. I feel like self-reflection and journaling is one way to really dig deep and like really answer those questions honestly. Am I doing what I love? Is this making me happy? Set goals for yourself, because I feel like especially in the society that we live in right now, everyone is just trying to survive. Everybody's just working a 9-to-5 job. Everybody is just trying to stay afloat, and there's ways to stay afloat and still do things that you love, to still do things that you like.
Right. And it's very funny that you'd say, like the self-reflection, because like I think one of the most important thing is self-awareness. Like if you are aware of who you are, what makes you happy, what makes you hungry, what makes you sad, then you're better control of your emotions. And emotional control is one of the best control to have, because then people won't piss you off. People won't demotivate you. You won't care what anybody say, because you're so self-aware. You know your self-worth. You know your value.
And knowing your self-worth, knowing your self-value is also setting boundaries for how people treat you. You take care of yourself, nobody's gonna deal with you crazy, because they see you as someone that has a lot of respect for yourself, and you don't attract the negative energy. So like, one thing that I learned on my journey is that we attract everything that comes to us. Believe it or not, we attract it. The negative energies, the loud neighbors, the loud friends, the friends that never have no money.
Support.
Like a lot of stuff we have in our life that we're going through. When we do that self-reflection, we realize that we're actually tolerating it. We're holding on to it. It's very easy to break away from it once you realize that you have control over it.
Right. And something else that you said too that's pretty interesting. Like everybody set goals. Goals are so important. And like I have this thing that once you set the goals, that's where a lot of people stop. Like they'll journal and say, I want to become a millionaire by 2021. Right? That's the goal. And then they close the journal and then they move on. They go through life, positivity and everything. But 2021 hits and they're not a millionaire. And then immediately they go in their head and they're like, okay, where did I go wrong? Why didn't I accomplish? And like in my head, something else that I think people should start adding to the goals, when it comes on to setting goals, you have to also put a plan. And then put another part that says execute. Because execution is the thing that sets you apart from everyone else. Because everybody's going to have the goal to become successful. Everybody is not going to have the plan, because some people don't know. But goals, plan, execution, those are the three things that really bring a goal to life, I think. So it's good that you bring that out.
You have to know how you're going to get there. You can't just say, I want this, or I want to do this, or I want to be this, but don't really have a couple of steps of how you will eventually get there.
Right. So Another question I have for you is for somebody that's just starting out, for somebody who don't like where they are in life, and maybe they're experiencing something that some kind of trauma as well, and they just want to break free and start hustling or start a business, start on the entrepreneurship journey. What would be your advice for them starting out?
Well, I feel like everyone has a skill, and everyone, even if it's not a skill, it's something that you're interested in or passionate about, and use that passion, manifest your passion and the skill, tie it up together, and that's how you can start. I don't know. That question was kind of tricky. Yeah, I didn't really understand that question
Okay.
because I don't feel like you just get up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna
Start.
start
Yeah,
doing
definitely.
something." I don't feel like you just get up and do that. Like I feel like it's something. It has to be an experience or
A drive that
a
kind of
drive
motivates
that
you.
motivates you. Something had to happen to motivate you to do this.
Right.
There
Right.
has to be a backstory. You don't just get up one day and people. I don't know. Maybe. And I don't know where those people are right now.
I used to love backstories, man. And the people who did the backstory the best is Phineas and Ferb with Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Have you seen that?
No, you watch some of the crazy stuff.
Never heard of Phineas and
I know, Phoenix.
You were saying you never watched Phineas and Ferb.
No, I used to
Naruto
watch
have
it
good
in the
backstory for
summertime. In the summertime, when I was in Jamaica, I had cable,
Ah,
but only in the summertime.
right.
But I don't know that episode.
Well, he does it in all of them. When he creates his little machines of destruction, his innators, he always give a backstory to why he created the innator. And they used to be the funniest things. I used to love that, man. But yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely
there's always
need,
a backstory.
yeah, you definitely need a backstory or something that's going to drive and motivate you, because like the determination and the drive have to be born from something.
Yeah.
Like you can't, as you say, just get up one day and be like, oh, I'm gonna go out here and start this business. Doing what? With what drive? So like, I feel like it's very, very important to have that story that goes with it. And yours is very inspirational. You battled the devil and here you are.
Yes. I felt like I had to fight to be alive.
And you won.
And yeah, I think it's a journey. It's a journey, and we're still on the journey. Yeah.
So, where are you looking to go? So, what is on the your calendar for 2020? What are you hoping to achieve both with your business and for yourself personally?
So for 2020, I am expanding Crystal City Healing to Awaken by Abbigail. Awaken by Abbigail is going to be a store/spa. I will be offering services in group meditation, crystal healing readings, yoni session, and yoni steam consultations. I want to also have in my store natural skincare products. I definitely want to have you in my store.
Oh, thank you.
I'm praying to God, the universe, that everything aligns the way it should. When I actually started Crystal City, launched Crystal City, the vision was what I have for 2020.
Okay.
It started off small with just jewelry, crystal jewelry, but now I'm gonna be in a position to take it further.
Right.
Yes.
I think that's
I
a
don't
great
know. I don't know
point.
if I missed anything. I'll have herbal blends, all kinds of natural stuff for self-care, for protection, keeping your energy clear. So I'll have sage, Palo Santo, oil essentials, oil diffusers. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a pretty dope plan. Well, you definitely have my support on that journey.
Thank you.
Um,
Just stay tuned. for more
Hey, so
information.
for the name again, for everybody that's watching this, it's going to be Awakened by
Awakened by
Abigail.
Abigail.